Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Lululemon. It is time for another update, and on this chart we are tracking on the bullish side a double 1-2-1-2 setup where we are expecting to start a third wave to the upside after completing the correction in wave 2 into the area of support between the $187 all the way down to the $64 level. Now there is a more bearish implication, a more bearish scenario rather, that this could be an ABC structure, which is perfectly valid, and yeah, we should be prepared for an even more severe correction in that case, in that scenario. But to be honest, right now there is no obvious reason for which we should be tracking that interpretation, because right now we are still holding at a very high level within this structure. We basically even pushed back out of the area of support, and we aren't even forming a larger 5-wave move to the downside within an impulse. Yeah, it could in the end build a larger 5-wave structure, but right now it is rather indicating that we should be still looking only for an ABC movement, and there is even a possible scenario that I could actually allow to consider this correction complete. Now, it isn't my preferred scenario, and it won't be until we actually break certain levels of resistance, but right now we are still doing just fine with the interpretation of tracking a larger 1-2 setup, and it is also possible that this could be an extension of the wave 1 still ongoing, but those are honestly just some details that don't really need to be, we shouldn't really focus on right now. Right now, we should be focusing on this correction on the area of support, and we should be tracking a potential initial 5-wave move to the upside that could indicate an early completion of this correction. Now, in the previous videos, we were tracking this idea of an ABC structure within which in the wave 3, we were looking still for further continuation lower to actually manage to get here to the ideal target of such a movement, and that would be here the 138.2% extension of the wave 1, which has not been achieved just yet. Yeah, we did push into the previous level, and technically this movement to the downside in the wave 3 could be done, but I would actually still like to consider further possible continuation in such a pattern. Now, the overall target for the wave C, we can actually even have a look at that, would be the 100% extension of the wave A, and we have already achieved that. Yeah, it was basically at the first level of support. This is where we also had our first more significant reaction to the upside, and while we could extend lower within a correction in this area, it is absolutely not needed, and something like a WXY could allow an early completion of this pattern. Now, in this structure to the downside, we have been focusing on a more direct trend, a more direct area of resistance that could have allowed a more intensive continuation here in a wave 5 to complete the larger wave 3, and this hasn't necessarily played out, so this scenario clearly has been broken, and now I am considering a larger ABC structure where the wave A probably bottomed here. We have here a quick wave B and then a wave C down, but I don't necessarily consider that this wave 3 must be complete. It could be, no problem, we could have the wave 3 already in place, and for that we would then be looking out here for an area of resistance for the wave 4 correction all the way up to the $254.8 level. Now this would be the 61.8% retracement, but there is nothing really stopping me from considering that this could actually be just the wave A of an even larger wave 3. Yeah, I could easily consider that this would be an ABC movement, which is a scenario that I will be tracking. I will be looking for further continuation lower in that interpretation. Now, we will also keep here this idea of a wave 4 in the red interpretation, where clearly we have managed to push first into the 23.6% retracement, where we got our more significant reaction to the downside, then the 38.2% retracement, another more significant reaction, and now, yeah, we might have even formed a local top within this area, although it is a bit difficult to say. Within this structure, I would probably prefer still another high, although I want to make it absolutely clear it is not needed in any way for us to form any additional highs within a correction in this area. Now, as I was mentioning, I do want to also track here the idea of a larger movement to the downside, a larger ABC pattern within the wave 3, and for that, actually, I probably don't even need a separate area of resistance, because here we can track all the way up to the 78.6% retracement, yeah, the $289 level, for a signal that this structure would break, and we would not even necessarily focus on continuation lower. But again, we need here a break above the $289 level for that, for this idea of an ABC movement to extend within a larger wave 3 to be basically discarded. And also, to be clear, even if we follow through in the yellow interpretation, for example, we break here above the 61.8% retracement, then we form a wave C to the downside. This would be only the wave 3. We would then still expect a fourth and a fifth, but this would be within a larger ABC movement. In a WXY pattern, sure, we may find early completion structures, but I would need anyway a confirmation in an initial 5-wave move to the upside for a higher reliability signal that this correction, this wave 2 in white, would actually be complete. Yeah, in the end, what I'm trying to communicate here is that we will need to take it level by level, and for now, this idea of a wave 4 and the 5th wave to the downside is still very much in play, especially as long as we hold here below the $254.5 level. We can still look for that pattern in a pretty direct fashion. Yeah, we might have even already topped once again. And then if we manage to break above that, I would still need a break above the $289 level to look for an early completion of this larger wave 2 in the white scenario. Yeah, because in the white scenario, while we can track a larger pattern to already have begun to the upside, I don't really have a clear structure internally in this movement in this area that would suggest such an idea. Now, in this correction, I was mentioning I would prefer still another high, and basically I would be liking to see here an ABC structure unfold within this movement, in this wave 4 correction in yellow, or yeah, again, even this wave B correction in, so this wave 4 correction in red, apologies, and the wave B correction in yellow, and I will be making this a higher degree. So in such a structure, in an ABC structure, in wave A, we have here an A wave up, a B wave down, and then a potential 5-wave move to the upside that could be unfolding within the interpretation of an ending diagonal. I will be tracking this, yeah, let's say within the white scenario, and I would like to hold here for such an idea the area of support from the $208 level, which basically is the first level we have gotten a reaction since this wave 3 top. Yeah, we have gotten here our reaction to the first level of support, and it goes all the way down to the 61.8% retracement at the $183 level, where if we break here below the 61.8% retracement, it would be a signal that this structure is likely complete, and we should be prepared for a more direct continuation to new lows within the larger area of support in the wave 2. Yeah, now this, even if we break, this pattern could still extend even more, but I wouldn't necessarily have any high expectations for it, because yeah, the internal structure within this area is likely done, and we have a full WXY pattern, yeah, let's say something like that, that could be complete, and we don't need any additional highs basically to continue this correction in a larger pattern. Yeah, and for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.